Alright, after talking about nothing but Power Rangers Cosmic Fury for the past couple of days, we can now talk about some Super Sentai, that being episode 31 of King-Ohger. Now, this episode picked up where the last episode left off on, where we found out that Jeramie's mother was alive. I say alive with quotation marks. We see the spider waifu, as some people are calling her, and in this episode, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't feeling it. Well, the first half of the episode I wasn't feeling because the pacing was very slow, dragged on a lot, if I could say so myself. It just felt like it was moving at a slower pace than usual than most King-Ohger episodes, as we were mostly jumping towards all the kingdoms and having a couple of wacky, silly gags in between. So the whole premise of this episode is because Jeramie's mother is alive, they're probably going to have some discourse between the Rangers to see if they're going to destroy her or not, because, you know, this is Jeramie's mother, and Jeramie's not going to want to destroy her, whether she's alive or not, whether this is the real Jeramie's mother. And then you have the whole team end up fighting or just doing plain old shenanigans. Like, you've got Jeramie and Jeramie about the throwdown, you've got Himino getting arrested by Rita, and they're blackmailing each other, they're arresting each other, they're putting people in cages. And then you've got Dabowski trying to summon the Galactic insects by doing some weird ritual to summon the alien life forces down there so they can communicate with them and do some kind of talk with them. And the jokes, I felt like there was some really good jokes in this episode as it went on. I really enjoyed the Himino and the Rita stuff. That was really funny because Himino wanted to arrest Groody or Gloody, whatever you want to call him. But because Himino wanted to enact revenge, Rita had to arrest her. And then Himino is trying to bribe Rita by meeting the Mofin voice actor. And then you have this moment where, like, Adventures of Mofin starts playing, and then Rita gets trapped in a cage, and Gira is trying to sort of figure out what the heck is going on. He's trying to get everyone's attention, but they're just not listening to him. And, like, it feels like the band is going to break up. That's like the Galactic Insects King plan. He's going to make everyone break up because they're going to bicker, they're going to fight, and it actually looks like it's working. And then you have the moment where Jeramie's mother starts attacking Shootagon, and then it looks like no one's going to work together, no one's going to team up in the end. And what their big plan was in the end is because the Galactic Insect King would make their big speech, they recorded that speech and they caught him on camera, and it turned out the whole thing was a prank. The Rangers were just pretending to hate each other in the entire episode, and they were faking it all along, which the reveal to that was really funny within itself, I will say that, because, like, they all came up with signs saying, "You've been pranked," and the whole premise of getting, like, the Galactic Insect to do his big speech on public TV as they recorded it is to prove that Jeramie was innocent, because if you remember, a couple of episodes ago, Jeramie faked his death and made it seem like that he was, like, the big villain the whole time. But this whole thing was to clear his name, and I feel like that whole Jeramie clearing his name thing, they did it, but they didn't have to do it, because there wasn't any serious, like, outcome of sort of Jeramie faking his death in front of, like, live broadcast TV, because it was for Gira's people, it seemed like that broadcast was for. But after that episode, Jeramie was just chilling out and acting normal, and no one was, like, pointing fingers at him, asking if he should be dead or not. So this whole ruse felt like it was for nothing, but it was to clear his name in the end, and they cleared his name. So this episode was a nice Jeramie moment where you had him sort of facing off against his mother. They formed the Megazord, and they just ended up destroying the Jeramie's mother fake clone, because, you know, Groody can bring the dead back to life, so of course it was a fake mother the whole time. Now, one thing we also do learn about Jeramie's mother is the whole uprising with the Bugnarok that she caused, because she was the only one who could go toe-to-toe with Digorg. Remember Digorg? I remember Digorg. He was around to be a big deal, and then he got destroyed in the end, and we have never seen him ever again. But the fight scene that she had with Digorg was pretty cool. They did have to speed it up a little, the fight scene footage, to make it look like the suit was moving very fluidly, but it was cool to see her have some really good moves on her. But overall, this was a nice Jeramie moment as you see him staring at the gift the sort of gun weapon that he uses that his mother gave him, and you sort of see him looking at it, having a nice little moment with it. So that was a nice little Jeramie moment we had in this episode. I honestly did think that like Jeramie's mother was alive the whole time, like leading up to it, but once when you figure out like the galactic insects were onto something, then it was quick to catch on that it was like not Jeramie's mother the whole time. So I feel like it seemed like they were building up towards something very big the whole time, but our heroes knew, and they just played our villains the whole time in the end. Although the episode ends on a pretty serious note where the Galactic King just shows up out of nowhere, where in the last couple of minutes of the episode he just grabs everyone, throws them through a portal and says, "You're going to the worst place imaginable." Where is that worst place imaginable where he sends our 6 rangers? Well, modern day Tokyo, which is cool to see because, you know, King-Ohger has been doing all these sort of CGI sets that they use with like the Mandalorian screens and stuff like that technology. So the sort of like physical sets we've seen of King-Ohger has been little to none unless they're fighting at the quarry or fighting in the forest or something like that. They've just been using those CGI backgrounds. So to see the King-Ohgers in like modern day Tokyo with like some actual backgrounds behind it, some actual like sort of scenery is really cool to see, and seeing their outfits, they look very out of place. But this is all leading into the whole Kyoryuger crossover that they've been teasing for the past couple of months, ever since before the time skip, longer than that, if I remember correctly, with the leaks. But there's been some sort of discourse behind that as well, because it looks like they teased that Daigo or King would be back, but it looks like it's a totally different actor if you've seen that around online. So I am wondering what's up with that, because it's not King we'll be meeting. Apparently it's Prince from what I've heard. So I do wonder what's up with that, like what kind of dimension of Kyoryuger they're in, what kind of time. I haven't seen Kyoryuger. I want to watch it. It's really hard to find when it comes to sort of finding files and stuff like that, but it's definitely on my list to watch because it's one of those Sentais that a lot of people love, and they say it's like one of the good modern Sentais in the past 10 years. But also, on a bit of a tangent, get your wallets ready because they're going to put out the memorial Gaborizer, the Dino Charge Morpher. So get ready for that. That's going to be a thing. I'm definitely going to get it because I like having the gun morphers on display. They always look really freaking great, so I'll probably be throwing my money at that is for sure, when the pre-orders go live. But yeah, that's where the episode ends. The episode ends with our heroes being in modern day Tokyo, and we're getting a crossover next week, so stay tuned for that. So what did you guys think of this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Take care. Bye.